Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of MindBody TV. I'm going to speak to something pretty universal that so many people, including myself, have been dealing with. And that's this feeling like our world is so chaotic that there's no way to get a sense of grounding or meaning or clarity or control or like what in the world is happening. So whether it's global events or very personal events that are happening to you that don't make sense, feel overwhelming, and have got you caught up in the chaos, we're going to get some very serious grounding into the truth of what you are. So as a physician, one of the main things that I'm doing that's helping people heal, their body will heal, is remembering I'm not the body. So what am I? If I'm not the body, if I can notice this body and feel this body and I call it my body, well, then who am I? And that's the big shift in consciousness that allows a massive quantum shift in the body that science will call spontaneous resolution of disease, because there's no real understanding of like, how do the cells transmute from disease cells to healthy cells? What creates that is just shift in the energy field the body is in, and you are that energy field. And how does this pertain to life events or what's going on in the world? Is when we begin to remember we are not the stuff and we are not the person overwhelmed by the stuff, everything can change. And that's because you are actually the space in which all of the stuff is happening. And we're going to do a practice in today's episode to enter into that space, because when you show up, you are the light. You are the solution you're looking for. And when the you that you are shows up in your wholeness instead of in the actor, as if you're just the actor in the play, everything changes. So please share where you're tuning in from, and please share what about this resonates with you. Are you dealing with overwhelm with world events, or maybe it's family events or money events or relationship? Like, what is it that you're dealing with in your life that is really overwhelming you? And I'll tell you what it will bring up. It will bring up powerlessness, like a sense like no matter what I do, that's where the overwhelm comes from. It can bring up hopelessness, like, why even bother? It can bring up anger. Maybe you find yourself talking about it a lot, like, can you believe? It can bring up fear. Well, all of these things are coming up for us because we are ready to shift into sovereignty. We are shifting into our sovereignty. We are ready to know who we truly are that goes beyond what we've been taught. So what does that look like? As soon as I remember, okay, here's the body, but I'm not the body. I can become aware of the space beyond my body. I can become aware of the space of the room I'm in. I can become aware of the space of the whole context of my life, the space beyond what appears to be happening in my life. And as soon as I do that, and that's really what this practice in mind-body medicine is, what I teach in every episode of MindBody TV in some way, and in the coursework that I'm doing, is how do we ground into that? Okay, so the first thing you got to realize is everything that's false is what's falling away. And that might be why everything seems like it's hitting the fan. It's like everything that's been held together, but it's not actually serving you, whether it's a relationship or a career or just your way of identifying, that's ready to fall away. And sometimes it happens through an illness, like a catastrophic diagnosis that you just can't deal with, can't believe what's happening here. But it's an opportunity that can bump you into a whole new consciousness of who you really are. And if you're ready for that, you'll use even the most extreme pain as an opportunity to awaken. So please share with me, if that's what's been coming up in your life, what it looks like in your life. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how ready are you to let it be an opportunity to awaken? Now, what's happened for me in my life lately was so intense, so big. And there were many moments where I felt like I was hanging by a thread. There was still a thread, though, on some level of Some part of me knows what I'm doing. And I have no idea what that could be. And I don't even believe it. And I don't even feel like I want to go forward. But something in me that's bigger than that belief is already here. There's no letting go now. And many moments I'm hanging by that thread, but I would notice the thread. I would notice there's a part of me willing to surrender even now. There's a part of me willing to let go, that there is something higher that the I am that I am is actually doing. Like, I've got it. I've got it. I'm seeing something you don't see. We got this. Now, you don't have to believe it. You don't have to understand it. And you don't even have to feel like it's true. And a lot of times you won't. Will you still allow even a 2% softening in the body to let in something that you don't already understand? Because that's what has allowed for me such acceleration through my journey. Stuff falling away that wasn't serving me, stuff that was actually false that even I didn't see, and new things coming in that are supportive, that are everything I've been asking for with where I want to go in my work, in my business, in my life, in my relationships. So sometimes you just got to hold out that people will call it faith or trust. Sometimes I call it surrender. But there is right now a massive global falling away of the false, what is not truly serving us collectively, individually. You'll see it in your friend groups, like everybody is in this deep process. And then there's a deepening of the truth. And the more you allow this to be what's happening for you, the more you kind of go with the flow of what's happening, even when it's really hard or you don't understand, the more you will see, whoa, what could be coming in? What could this be making space for? Maybe it's your job that's falling away, or the energy behind that job, and you've got to show up in a different way. How can I show up as an authentic contribution in my job instead of just punching in, punching out, going through the motions? Or maybe there's a whole new career for you that you hadn't even considered. What could be my authentic contribution? Who am I truly? This is happening for so many people. Just check out online. Like when you look on YouTube, there's people who were like, I was a soccer mom. Now I'm a, intuitive reader and helping people solve issues because I've come into a whole new consciousness and I can read their system. And a lot of weird modalities that didn't make sense in the old construct. How could you know that? How could you do that? We're just in the physical. Yeah, but people are having these pops of awakening either through near-death experience or use of medicinal, frog drugs, or ayahuasca, or like a crazy illness that like, whoa, this shook me up, radically changed my life, and I see everything differently now. Just begin to look at what's been really happening, like a massive, sometimes pop in consciousness where all at once things come in and you see things differently, or it's a gradual shift over time, but you really begin to have a new perspective. So who are you? Who are you ready to be in your work? How are you ready to contribute to the world in a deeper way that comes from the heart, which next week we're going to do some heart-mind coherence instead of the mind, which is the programming. Relationships. There's a lot of rearrangement happening. In fact, I talked to my friend Chris a couple weeks ago, and he is in the middle of a divorce and going through it in this really beautiful way. And he said, it wasn't true. He said, I love this person, but I love her even more that I don't have to pretend to love her that way. He said, it really didn't fit anymore to be in that partnership. And I care about my family and I care about my wife, but I knew it needed a rearrangement. And she was really upset with it. She didn't want this. But he kept opening, and all these things happened that allowed her to get it as well. And she is more loving to him, in a happier place. And their kids, like, things fell into cohesion, and it's because he went with the flow of this major shift that a lot of people can make it wrong. And he did for a long time try to make it work, but he realized like it just wasn't true. And the arrangement we're in now, I feel more whole, she feels more whole, and I feel more love for her than I ever felt when I had to pretend to hold it together that way. So a lot of relationships are falling away, but if you allow the process, something higher is coming in. And then in the health, if you have a diagnosis and you're really scared, or even just without a diagnosis with like severe symptoms of fatigue, or you can't digest your food, or you can't sleep, or there's a real serious process going on, the first step is to remember, I am not the body. I am not the body. Now, I'm not saying immediately get it. Who am I? Just begin to say, wait, I'm not the body. I'm not the body. The body is responding to the energy field of what I am, to the energy field I hold, to the space and consciousness that I hold. Who could I be and how could I be in this moment that would allow the body that's in the field that I am to shift? Who and how could I be? And when I use in my work, I'll say, what energy, space, and consciousness could I be that allows this to shift? How could I be that allows the body to feel peace instead of fear? How could I be that allows the body to open and receive life force and rebalance? Because the first thing that's going to happen, we have a diagnosis or something we don't understand, or just symptoms that are overwhelming, and we contract. Yeah. And now the body's in that contracted energy field. It's going to keep the inflammation going. We've already seen this electromagnetically. When you're in the emotions of overwhelm, here's what your nervous system does. Here's what your immune system does. It creates and generates inflammation and dis-ease. Okay, so how does this pertain to like global events and what we're perceiving? And oh my God, can you believe it? It's the same thing. All of this that appears to be happening is happening in the field of what I am. And you don't have to understand it. You're never going to understand what we truly are, but you can begin to connect with it. Okay, so you are the space within which all of this is happening. So just consider that and put your hand on your heart. If I am the space, the energy, space, and consciousness within which all of this is happening in my body, in my life, in my world, how can I be that would allow a resolution? So just take, if you can, close your eyes, take like 10 breaths. If I am the space within which all of this is happening, the wanted, the unwanted, the hopes, the dreams, the overwhelm, the powerlessness, the fear, the symptoms, the world stuff, if I am the energy, space, and consciousness, who or how could I be that would allow all of this to open and shift? And just take a few breaths with that. Could I be more love, more self-love, more calm, more peace? Could I be more at peace with myself and what I'm feeling in this moment? Could I be 2% more welcoming the sensations and the emotions, and 2% less resisting and fighting? Because that's the fight that's showing up in the matrix, in the space. So just again, take a deep breath, feel, how can I be the space that allows the opening and the miracles and the blessings and the unfoldment of the bliss and the joy and the peace that I truly intend in my heart? If I am the energy, space, and consciousness in which all of this is happening, how could I be right now that could allow a major shift and a rearrangement for the highest and best? You gotta breathe all the way down your pelvis when you do this, guys. It's worth it to pull over if you are driving or watch this later, but just ground, feel your bum on the seat. If I am the energy, space, and consciousness, who or how could I be that is 2% more open and curious, 2% less fighting, tense, and conclusive? Maybe I don't really know what's going on. Good. 2% more curious and receptive. 2% less holding the anger indignant. Oh, that was good, you guys. Just breathe. If I am the energy, space, and consciousness in which all of this is happening, and then allow the specific thing that's most getting your goat, how could I perceive and relate to this instance that allows everything to shift. 2% more curiosity, receptivity, and allowing, and 2% less resistance. Take a deep breath. The only thing we're resisting is our own emotions, our own perceptions. When we are in ease, our world opens up, the body, all of it. So open your eyes, have a couple of deep breaths, and then just begin to ask yourself, how can I be in my life, moment to moment? Be more the space than the stuff, right? I'm going about life. I'm the body. I got to do this. I got to do that. I act as if it's I who am threatened. It's I who am having symptoms. It's I who am having a problem. You got to make a little bit of a space to return to what you actually are so that the body can heal, so that the life can rearrange, so that the world can open up. Because everything happening is an expression of you, an expression of the consciousness you are in right now. People say perception equals reality. What perception could you soften around to let your reality shift? All right, I love you guys. Thank you for courageously showing up to actually even notice what you're feeling that isn't wholeness and being at all interested in stepping into wholeness, because it might seem like most of the world still isn't. That's also just a feedback loop. Everything is happening. Everything is happening within the space of what you are. How can you be 2% more in wholeness? You already are whole, so that it can appear. All right, let me know how this landed for you. Share this with those that you love. Subscribe. Join us in the MindBody community. It's our free community in Facebook. We'll be broadcasting MindBody TV every week in the MindBody community in Facebook, in our YouTube channel, Dr. Kim Duramo. And you can join us in the Center Source membership, where we're doing the deeper work. There's a workshop we do every quarter, and we just broadcast one that you can go as a member and view. We're doing EFT, meridian tapping around the theme of the month. And you'll have assistance, more close assistance through that community in circles. So I will include the link for that here. We are in our Awaken the Creator Within course right now. If you would still like to join, there's room to jump in. This is where we are doing the inner work to align with sovereignty. Your nervous system is either fed by the programming, keeping your body running on that loop, perceiving on that loop, thinking on that loop, limitation, lack, or you're hooked up to source, which is what you truly are. You always have been, you always will be. But when you allow your body to hook up to source, you're running on a new circuitry. It repatterns your nervous system. You are neuroplastic. It repatterns your electromagnetics, connecting with truth, wisdom. And this literally allows you to be sovereign as you show up in this reality. You are sovereign. Are you experiencing it? So that is what we're doing in Awaken the Creator Within, and you're welcome to join. I'm looking forward to this expansion this year. It's February, and this is the month where, in the Chinese New Year, there's the transition from shedding the year of the snake, soaring forward, the year of the fire horse. That is happening right now. You are definitely feeling this. Honor that. Choose what nurtures you, because we are soaring forward. I love you guys.